What's going on, y'all? It's Combo Breaker 99. I'm back with another video. Okay, y'all, back with this quick discussion video here. This just kind of popped into my mind. I wanted to kind of talk about this fight that took place yesterday. Katlyn Chookagian and Amanda Ribas. Shout out to both fighters putting on a action-packed fight. They put on a good performance. It won Fight of the Night for last night. And real quick, in my opinion, I really thought Fight of the Night was Araujo versus Lee. I thought that Araujo, she went in there and, put on a very explosive performance, So I thought that fight should have got Fight of the Night, in my opinion. I thought it was just more explosive, as far as groundwork and strikes. But, hey, Chookagian and Ribas, they did their thing, too. They really went at it. They finished the fight strong. And, there was some exchanging moments in there. Neither one of the fighters just really packed that type of power. But what I wanted to talk about in this video is what's really next for these two fighters here, because right now I think that this fight between Chookagian and Ribas, it was good that it turned out the way it did. Let me just put it that way. That's why I want to talk about this video. I want to just kind of talk about why I think this was a good sign for both fighters here, especially for Ribas. I know some people think that Amanda Ribas was robbed, but I don't think so. I think it was a close fight all the way around. I think it's really just what you're looking at. And if the fight had went to Ribas, I wasn't gonna be mad, because like when they were reading that first card off and they said Ribas, I was like, okay, Ribas might get a split decision win here, and she'll have earned it. I was cool with that, because I thought with her takedowns and going by how judges do sometimes, I thought they would have gave it to her, But Chookagian, she was able to get it. And in my opinion, I could see how she got it, because I was kind of favoring, the significant strike numbers in the third round for Chookagian, and I did give her the first round, right? But as far as how the fight went, like I said, I think this is a good sign, definitely, because aside from the performance that these fighters put on, putting on a very good, exciting performance, not another boring fight, right? It was good that it turned out this way, because for Ribas, I saw a lot of work that needs to be done for, somebody moving up to 125. You know what I mean? All around, she needs, work to be done. But I mean, I think at her natural weight, where she, likes to compete at, or, where she is most of the time at 115, I think that's a good weight for her right now, because the fight that she put on at 125, I think that it was very spirited, good heart, but it was a good thing she didn't get the nod here, even if it was a split decision her way, because there's still a lot of work that needs to be done in this grappler heavy division and harder hitter division. You know what I mean? Because Ribas in this fight, to me, she was showing a lot of heart, putting a lot of pressure on Katlyn Chookagian, much bigger fighter. But the one thing people forget too about Chookagian is, some people feel like, oh, okay, she's big, she could be at 135, which she could. But the thing about it is, she has the height and the reach and that size somewhat, but she doesn't really have that full-on physical strength like some of these other bantamweights, like Holly Holm, the Ketlin Varias, and even like Lauren Murphy. If she chose to go back up, I think she would have, strength. Raquel Pennington. They're the fighters that are kind of more filled out, and they have more of a solid ground to stand on, as far as how they move and how they can push their weight around. Chookagian never really had that type to me. I think she just was very long and big for flyweight, and she's able to use that to her advantage. That's why she moved down in weight, because she doesn't really pack that type of power, and she just doesn't really have that gritty physical strength to get down and dirty, right? That's one reason why Ribas was able to press her and look so good, in my opinion. But at the same time, while she was doing this, she was still eating a lot of shots. Ribas was eating a lot of shots in there. She was taking some big right hands from Chookagian. I mean, after that first round, you could see the redness around the left eye. And, she should have been thankful that she couldn't hit that hard, because she probably would have got knocked out like the first round, at the amount of shots that she was getting hit with, if Chookagian decided to really, put some pop on it. You know what I mean? So she probably would have got stopped. So I say it's a good sign that she didn't get the victory here, because like beating the number one for Ribas, that would have been building her confidence up, and of course she would say, okay, I got stuff to work on, but that would have put her in a place where it's going to be very dangerous right now. See, when Andrade won, she had more to stand on, right? Even though Valentina outclassed her and did what she did, she had a lot to stand on. Like, Andrade beat Chookagian and she was put right there in them sharks, I mean, she was probably like the biggest shark because, she could handle any of the other flyweights around her. But let's say Ebos would got the victory in this, let's say if they gave her the W in the fashion that she won on Saturday, with the performance she put on Saturday, right? That would have put her right there amongst Lauren Murphy, Manon Fiorot, Miesha Tate, and all these other fighters, right? And like she said, she wanted one more fight. I don't think she would have been able to handle anybody like Manon Fiorot because Manon Fiorot hits harder. Manon Fiorot is physically stronger. She might not be as tall as Chookagian, but she's still tall for that division, and she's a big flyweight, right? Same with Miesha Tate. Miesha Tate's coming down from 135. Like, I think Miesha Tate, she could beat Ebos. She's just a much stronger wrestler. Like, she might be able to take her shots. She can walk through her and take, if Ebos chooses to take Miesha Tate down, Miesha Tate can hold her own on the ground, right? Same with Lauren Murphy. So I think that it was a good thing she didn't get it because, yeah, if she would have won, boom, she would have been right there in the mix. They probably would have put her in there at number 3 or number 4. Then, Manon, she probably would have tried to call her out. Viviana Araujo would have called her out. They probably would have put her in with one of those fighters next because we know she ain't ready for the champion, right? Not with that performance. So I'm just kind of basing this off of if she got the W with this same performance. That's why I say it was a good sign she didn't get it because the defense still needs a lot of work. She was walking through a lot of shots, and that's her problem too. Like, sometimes she'll disrespect the striking of these fighters, which she did against Marina Rodriguez, and that's why she got knocked out, right? So I think there's just a lot of work defensive-mindedly. I think she needs to be a lot more defensive-minded and, just kind of work on trying to find her range with the jab better and, learn how to use hooks more and work her way in and stop trying to just walk in. Work her way in instead of walk in. Now, the good with her, I will say that I like the heart. I love the heart that she, wanted to take the chance and move up to fight somebody as big as Chookagian, and the way she pressed the fight. I like the pressure she did put on. She was willing to go in there and stand and bang, which tells me she'll do that with any of the flyweights. Granted, Chookagian can't hit as hard, but I think she will go in there and take chances against some of these other flyweights if she was to return. So I think Ebos showed us what type of fighter she is, with that. And I also like some of the strikes she was doing. She did land some good strikes on Chookagian. She did close distance nicely, but she was taking a lot of hits. When she did close in, she would let her hands go to let you know that she does have some good 1-2s. And I love her takedowns. You know what I mean? Like, she's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, but she was able to wrestle and get gritty with Chookagian. And that's why I said, like, if it goes to the ground, it will favor Ebos, in my opinion. If she keeps it there and she has a little bit more size to her, I think, she would have had more success. But I said if it goes to the ground, yeah, it's going to look more like her type of fight. It's going to favor her fight. And, yeah, man, she wasn't scared to go in there. Like how she, got the headlock toss. She would just do that judo toss, and she tossed Katlyn Chookagian down. She was able to take her down, 2-3 times in this fight. I like that. That shows you that if she puts on the physical strength and she fights, she fights a little bit smarter, getting takedowns at flyweight might not be a problem. If she can take down a big fighter like this, it won't be a problem. That's where you can see the difference between her and like Mackenzie Dern. She doesn't have a problem getting these takedowns. Even like Melissa Gatto, she knows how to pressure with strikes, take you off balance, and even use the judo. You know what I mean? So, yeah, so it definitely opens some doors for her. It definitely opens some, opportunities for her to say in the future, okay, if I work on this and I work on that, maybe next time, in a few more years as I get a little bit older and I can't make 115, as long as I start to add these tools to my arsenal, I could probably find a home at 125, right? Because, I got the strength, definitely got the drive, got the pressure, got the wrestling and jiu-jitsu down. But now I just need to really work on defense. You know what I mean? And I think that was her big problem here, is really just the defense. Taking too many hits, walking in, because that's how Chookagian won the fight. Chookagian really was able to put her hands on her. As for Chookagian, I'd say the good with her is just, the same, her IQ. She's just always willing to commit to what she's good at and even not scared to fight a little bit on the inside. Even though she's, like I said, she doesn't really have the dog like some of these other fighters because she's not as strong. Chookagian still likes to go in there and make for an entertaining fight. She's putting hands on her opponent. She's always letting go, and always working. So the good with her is just to say, look, she's right where she needs to be. She's still beating these other fighters. It's not always going to be pretty. It's not always going to be unanimous, but she stayed in the fight and used what she knows. You know what I mean? She definitely used what she is capable of. Good sign that, as far as like good sign, I'd say for her getting the victory is she can kind of go back now and just say, okay, I know I'm calling out Valentina, but was this performance really worthy enough to say I've improved since the last time I fought Valentina Shevchenko? It gives her something to measure herself on, right? Because if somebody coming up from strawweight was able to take her down this easy and, actually pin her down a few times, that's going to give her something to think about, right? So it's a little, there's a little good on both sides here, with her getting that split decision. Now she has to say, well, am I really ready? Or no, maybe I better go ahead and call out Manon or Grasso or one of these other fighters, right? And I have to give her credit there because, Chookagian, she doubled up on everybody, quadruple. Really, she's calling out fighters for other people, basically. You know what I mean? She's called out enough fighters to make up for everybody else. She said, I'll take on Grasso, Tate, Manon, or, that French girl, or, I want my rematch with Valentina Shevchenko. And if she said, if I can't get the rematch, I'll fight one more fight and then get there, So she doesn't mind going on a 4-fight win streak to prove herself, So I think that's definitely opened up some doors for her. So, yeah, man, final thoughts. Like I said, this was a good sign for Ebos mostly here. You know what I mean? Like, if they would have gave her this split decision nod, who knows what would happen as far as her confidence. She's probably going to say, oh, now I'm ready. No, let me get Valentina. No, let me get Manon. And then you go in there with that type of approach, that type of disrespect as far as walking in on strikes against Manon Firo, or if you try to go in there and take Manon down, you're going to be dealing with a much bigger, stronger, grittier fighter with powerful strikes. You know what I mean? So everything happens for a reason, in my opinion. That's my point of this video. Everything happens for a reason. So it was good she didn't get the victory. Do I see a future for her, like I said, in the 125 division? Sure. In a few more years, like I said, main thing is defense and physical strength and IQ. Build all that up, and I think she could definitely hang with some of these fighters. I think she has more of a kill switch than Grasso. Yeah, and that's a big part of it, right? So, yeah, guys, let me know in the comment section what y'all think. Tell me y'all felt that Ebos was robbed, but like I said, everything happens for a reason, and that's a good sign she didn't get it because, hey, dealing with a grappler-heavy division, and you're going to be surrounded by sharks. So go back and get that work in. Combo Breaker 99, I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.